best things in life for free, but you can give them to the birds and bees. I want money. That's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want.
Hi there, Internet. My name is Scott, and this is my review of Palmer United Party. They're a political party in Australia. We have over 54 parties, and we have an election that's coming up really soon. So I have taken some time, a few weeks in fact, looking into all of the parties that we have registered with our AEC in some detail. And so this is my review of the Palmer United Party. Alright, Palmer United. Now, they were founded earlier this year, in 2013, by Clive Palmer. Now, most people have heard of Clive Palmer. They know who he is. He is perhaps the richest man in Australia. He has almost $800 million in wealth. He made it all in mining. He has so much money he doesn't know what to do with it. Clive Palmer has recently started construction of a dinosaur park in Queensland, which has 161 life-size dinosaurs that are robotic. He's also building what he calls Titanic 2, a giant ship. For a while, Clive Palmer bought an A-League soccer club. At the time of owning that club, he was considered by colleagues in the A-League, the PFA, as hard to work with and arrogant, and he dropped his support of that club pretty much as rapidly as he took it on, and it was a very difficult time for that club. So Clive Palmer, his political party now, he's very pro mining. It's what he knows best. Clive Palmer wants to first of all abolish the carbon tax. It's not in his interest to have a carbon tax where the proceeds may or may not, but likely could affect the mining industry. He believes that a percentage of wealth that comes from the mining industry should be put back into the community where it came from. And he has stipulated that that number should be at 25%. Now, that doesn't necessarily just include mining wealth. That could be any kind of wealth generated from that area. But he believes that 25% of that money should be put back into developing the local area. I should point out that in mining industry, there are regulations where a certain percentage of profits of mining companies has to go back into communities. That's been in place for some time, and specifically they have to support certain areas of the community too. Clive Palmer, he claims that electricity prices are too high. He wants to, here we go, he wants to, quote, stop the boats, end quote. So one of those catchphrases. However, he has an interesting take on it. And it's not entirely without credit at all. He wants to stop the boats by more accessible air travel. And he claims that if we spent $800 on an airfare for each asylum seeker, it's much cheaper than the $20,000 worth that we spend on resettlement and detaining. So he believes that refugees could be trialled at the airport. It's worth mentioning that over 90% of Australia's refugees already come by plane. It's largely, aircraft is largely where our refugees come from. But Clive Palmer believes that at the airport we should have some sort of setup where we have a refugee tribunal or trial, and the decisions can be made there. So look, loosely he's pro-refugee. He is. What else? He likes to support, quote, a fair go for all, end quote. I don't really know what that is. He speaks of government intrusion in policy documents, and he likes to limit governments. He doesn't like them to put in regulations. Um, he believes in work and private enterprise, and he wants to see developments in our communications industry. He believes in working for a material reward. Um, he wants to, the party want to increase security and border controls. They support, quote, balanced conservation, end quote. I think that when you hear balanced conservation, one needs to be weary. Um, Nevertheless, and finally, he wants to strengthen our ties with the United States. There are a couple of, for me, well, okay. Firstly, in Clive Palmer's policy document, there's some really creative discourse. I got to give him that. Um, in his policy document, which outlines the policies, there are some short stories. Um, it's written in a very creative way. Um, but at the same time, there's a lot of things that are not specific, and that's an alarm bell for me. Like I mentioned, there are not specifics in the Liberal Party's economics policy. There are not specifics in well, that's one that comes to mind. But yeah, things do need to be specific when it comes to what parties say. And there's a couple of danger words in there again, like balanced conservation, like material reward, like stop the boats, those slogans. But that's what you're getting with Clive Palmer, and he's a charismatic dude. Um, he's big in rural communities, I guess. He is inordinately rich, um, and it looks like he set this party up to make himself richer. Um, but nevertheless, not without thought, and not without, I guess, some benefits to society. That's all I got to say on Palmer United Party. They're pretty conservative. Um, Nevertheless, if you want, please check out their website and the link to the Palmer United Party Wikipedia page. That's in the comments of this website. And if you liked it, please click like, and I'll see you at my next party review, which is soon.
I want money. I want the fun.